Hello, my name's Stuart, formerly professional classical record dealer back in the 90s, and now just simply classical record collector. I'm going to cover in this video how to assess condition. So, as some of you know, I frequent a lot of charity shops, trying to pick up what I can, and at the moment it's my only source. I'm not buying from anywhere else. So I'm hoping to get hold of some quality collections soon. I don't know how I'm going to do that because times have changed a lot since the 90s. We've got eBay, we've got other ways that private collectors can sell their own records. So unless somebody dies and a collection goes to an auction or some other has to be disposed of, records are not really going to be sold. They're going to be difficult to get. And I suspect that a lot of records that turn up in charity shops, somebody's died and they've been just taken to the charity shop. And if that person was obviously still alive, they would be holding onto the records. Excuse me a moment. I live on a main road and there's just an ambulance gone by. Okay, so checking condition. So you go to a charity shop and the condition of records in charity shops can be absolutely appalling. So it's really important. I've found, of course, that when you see a few good records in a charity shop, you could see maybe from the same person's donated a dozen or 20 records. If you find one in good condition, then the whole lot will be in good condition. Not always the case. If you find one in poor condition, the whole lot are in poor condition because people act by habit. And if somebody's clumsy with one record, they'll be clumsy with all other records. That's the way it goes. Fortunately, I found that with classical records, generally speaking, people tend to be fairly sensible. So let me just say that when I go into a record shop, I only look at it if I like the price. If I see a record and it's got £10 on it, unless it's something really amazing, I will just skip straight by it. The condition's irrelevant. So, okay, let me just show you. So I've got this record here, Mozart's Requiem, John Eliot Gardiner. Probably my favorite Requiem performance. It's absolutely white hot. This performance is just unbelievable. Okay, so first of all, have a quick look at the jacket. Yep, it's in good condition. No problems there really, but it's the record that you really want to be looking at. So you take out the, I take out the sleeve with the record in it, and I use this middle finger, feel for the spindle hole, and there we are. I'm holding it without touching the vinyl. I like to avoid touching the vinyl. And look at the surface. Now in this case, it's a late 80s record. It's in absolutely superb condition. I don't know whether you can see there. It's in really beautiful condition. And I'm holding the record and moving it in such a way by the edge. So I'm not touching the surface. I only touch the surface if I've got to, and I'll explain in what circumstance. So that one's absolutely superb. Hold it up to the light like that, different angles, and try to search for imperfections. Now, with me being a former professional, I can do this very thoroughly and very quickly. Yep, I mean, I've got so much experience at spotting faults. Now, sometimes you can see what looks like a fault on a record. It might be a light surface scuff, and I can tell by experience if that's going to sound or not. By a general rule, if you can lose it in the light, it won't sound. If you can see that mark from all angles, it will sound. Doesn't always work, but that's fairly good. Because you might see a record you want, you think, oh, it's got a scuff on it or it's got a mark. I'd like to have it. And you look at it carefully, think, that might be okay. And if you're just paying £1 for the record, then it's definitely worth chancing it. So, like that one's in superb condition, hardly any spindle marks. You look around the middle of the record where the spindle goes in, and as you can see on this one, there are virtually no spindle marks there. Sure enough, plays fabulously well. I'm really pleased. Now, sometimes with a record, you get an insert. And if you buy a record, you preferably want the insert. And with Mozart's Requiem, of course, we've got the text for the Requiem. And consequently, this record, there is actually an insert there. I like to have everything complete. And so there's the insert. That's nice to have. I've got the text and some notes. So that's great. So that's a good one. So there's an example of a record in really good condition. Now, sometimes you'll get a record which Superficially, it looks like it's in poor condition or is very dusty, like this one. I'm not really sure whether you'll be able to see that it's dusty, but it is. It's very dusty, this one. I'm going to hopefully, I've taken photographs of these. I'm hopefully going to superimpose a photo on so you can see. So that one's very dusty, but there are no spindle marks, or one or two. Deutsche Grammophon. You know, that's in pretty good, you know, that's in very good condition. Even though it's dusty, don't be worried about dust. Dust is no problem at all. What's a problem are scratches. Dust will come off. You don't even need to take the dust off. The stylus will knock it off. And I've played this. It did skip once or twice, and I was able to repair it by using my fingernail to just knock out the offending particle. So yeah, so if it's dusty, don't be too worried. If you see a mark, hold it up to the light and try to evaluate if you can lose it in the light. If it looks like a surface mark only, that it's not going to affect the play, then it's okay to buy the record. It depends, you know, on how much you want it. You might take a risk on something if it's got a more serious mark. It's up to you. So I'll just tell you, this, when I saw this record, I thought, oh, fantastic. Oh my God, I've very rarely ever see Yoshida on LP. And if you want to go on eBay to buy Mozart on Yoshida on LP, you're looking at 25, 30 pounds a go, which I won't pay. So I found this, I thought, oh, fantastic. Two of my favorite concertos as well, number 20 and number 21. Well, I even checked the condition while I was there, and the condition's great. Yep, the whole thing's in superb, you know, no problems with the spine. It looks almost brand new. £1. So I got home with it. I took it out. Can any of you see what the issue is here with this record? Just by looking at it. So who's the publisher? It's Philips, isn't it? Is that a Philips label? No, it isn't. It's a Decca label. Oh dear. How did I miss that in the charity shop? I was checking the condition. It didn't occur to me that the wrong record would be in the sleeve. Yeah? So I got this out, I thought, oh no. Knowing my luck, that will be something like Handel's Water Music. I've already got Handel's Water Music several times. I don't need another one of those. But actually, fortunately, it's Ashkenazi playing Mozart's piano concertos 23 and 27. Well, I'm still disappointed, but the record itself is in pristine condition. I've played it, but I have to say, I am disappointed about that. So, yeah, the moral from that is make sure that you've got the right record in the sleeve. So I missed, that was slightly annoying. We've got a gatefold here. I got this from a charity shop for £1. I was really pleased. Bilson and Elliot Gardner, Mozart 25 and 26. And again, just take it out, get the middle finger, and I mean, there's absolutely is in superb condition. There's no need to do anything. There's no need to touch the vinyl. The only time I touch the vinyl is if I see a mark that I think could be a hair, I'll blow it first. And if I still think maybe that's a hair, I will use the tip of my finger just to kind of sweep it off to see if I can sweep it off. Or the only other time I do it is if I come across a bit more of a serious kind of caking of dirt and I'm wondering whether that's going to be a problem. And then actually, believe it or not, I will sometimes just lick my finger and try to rub it off to see if it will come off, or at least if I can see that once it's been deep cleaned, it's left by no lasting impression. So in those circumstances, I just lick my finger and I try to rub it just to see. So let's look at one that did have an issue. Oh yeah, well, this, to my shame, I actually damaged a record myself. It's from a Mozart box set of the symphonies, and as you can see, I've messed up there. I took it out of the sleeve, I left it lying around. I went off records for 6 months or so, didn't really play any. I left that lying around, didn't get it back to the box, and I mucked it up, didn't I? That is actually damaged. There's nothing I can do about that. The other side isn't too bad, they're very dusty. Yeah, so to my shame, I messed up there. I destroyed another record once, a valuable one, when I was dealing. I had Sering Lelos Sinfonia Spagnola on RCA. It was a silver on red label, early label, and I would have expected to get 150, 200 pounds for that. I played it, something distracted me. I put it back in its sleeve, but I left it on my valve amplifier. And when I came back to it, it had melted. It was badly warped, and I had to throw it away. That was a valuable lesson. So, yep. So you've got to be really careful. Don't leave these on anything hot or anything like that. Okay, so I found this in a charity shop. The only valuable record I've found in a charity shop in recent times. So it's Ricci Violin Concertos of Dvorak and Tchaikovsky. When I saw this, my eyes nearly popped out. And I thought, oh no, it will be bad condition. It's got the original sleeve. So it's a Groove FFSS. Yeah, original recording by. It's an early pressing. Yeah, so I looked at it. I thought, oh, I can't believe it. That actually is in not bad condition. Yeah, so I was looking at it. I thought that's fine. Some surface scuffs. There's one mark which I've photographed. I'm hoping to show you, but when I looked at this mark, I thought, oh, that won't sound. It's like just a surface mark, which isn't deep enough in the groove to be a problem. Sure enough, when I played it, it wasn't a problem. That record's in really good condition. It's not an it kind of is an EX because it sounds good throughout. The scuffs, some people would object to that, but it's such a rare record. Unfortunately, the jacket is damaged. You can see there. I'm probably going to repair that, or I'm going to find another jacket. If I can find another jacket, that's about £350. It will pay for all the records I've bought so far since I started collecting again, and more besides. Okay, well, just to say about box sets, obviously with the box set, check the condition of the box, make sure all the records are there. If it says it's a 6-record box set, count the records first, make sure they're all present, and then just get them out laboriously and check them one at a time. I was in it, make sure the libretto is there, of course, or the booklet. I was in a charity shop a few days ago, and I saw I could buy at least 30, and I got them out, and I offered £1 each for them, and the lady in the shop said, yes, that's fine, and she was going to take them to the counter for me. I said, oh, wait a minute, I've not gone through them yet. No. I mean, you might think £1 each. Well, I'll just take the whole lot. No. I don't like to take back any records in poor condition. So I laboriously went through the whole lot. It took me about maybe 15-20 minutes, and I rejected about 5 of them. So it's worth going through them to reject those 5, because I don't want to bring back damaged records. And the only time I would bring back a damaged record is if it was something really rare, or really wanted it, or some other reason. But generally, I try to avoid records in poor condition. Okay, so that's about it. Just to recap, look very, very carefully. You'll develop an eagle eye for these things, as I've done. Angle it to the light. Angle it to the light. I could check a record in about 10 seconds. When I used to deal, I had to go through them quickly. I didn't used to check all records, just the more valuable ones, really. But I can get through them quickly, and you can too, without making mistakes. That's the thing. It's better to go slowly, though, and not make any mistakes, than to rush through. So yeah, I've got the experience to recognize where there are likely to be faults, what kind of faults there are, and whether a mark is going to cause a problem or not. And it stood me in good stead. The only thing I can't predict a lot of the time is if a record is going to skip, but I've got a cure for skipping, which works most of the time. So, okay, that's all for now. And if you've got any comments you'd like to make on checking condition, I'd be delighted to hear about it. Bye for now.